Hello, Breaking Brain, the eye of the tiger. If you watched Rocky, probably you remember this song. It's the eye of the tiger. It's the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of our rival. Today, Breaking Brain, the maze of leadership. Traditional leadership with strong, powerful, and loud managers transform into leadership coaching. It means instead of teaching people, you are helping them to learn and find own solutions. Like Simon Sinek said, good leader makes you feel safe. Good leaders make you feel safe. Leadership is a choice. It's not a rank. Today, first part, a few interesting ideas about leadership, and second part, interview with our special guest from China, with Francis Liu. Please stay with us and maybe you like Eye of the Tiger. If we are asking ourselves, what makes a great leader today? Where are we looking to anticipate change to our life and our business? What is the diversity measure of our network? And, for example, are we courageous enough to abandon the past? Great leaders dare to be different. Leaders create that psychological safety, a safe space where somebody can share ideas openly without fear, without criticism, without judgment. Be authentic with empathy, but without brutal honesty, because brutal honesty actually killing the team's motivation, their trust in you, their cooperation. Know your role, know your boundaries. Are you clear about your expectations? Know your team member as a human. Be curious people, be curious ideas, be curious our world. Okay, right now you can ask me how to lead in a crisis. Follow your values. Leaders must hold purpose and values steady, even as goals and situations change. Values can be your guiding light when everything else is up in the air. Act with urgency. While it's natural to want more information, fast action is often the only way to get more information. Be transparent. Communicating often, communicating with transparency, communicating about expectations. Share the power with those around you. You are never alone. The difference between mazes and labyrinths is that labyrinths have a single continuous path which leads to the center, and as long as you keep going forward, you will get this eventually. Mazes have multiple paths which branch off and will not necessarily lead to the center. In a maze, you can get lost, but in a labyrinth, you can't. To my mind, be manager is a labyrinth with only one choice, but it's a trap. Be leader is maze of choices, but it's only way. Today, my special interview with my guest from China. Please meet Francis Liu and his leadership story. Hello, my dear friends. Today, Breaking Brain, and we are in China with Francis. We are talking about the biggest challenges as a leader, about leadership, and about the values in our life. Hello, Francis. How are you?
Hi, Basha. Hi, I'm good. And just a little, a little bit overwhelmed with work, but I'm okay. Yeah. especially in your videos.
Thank you, and we'll start. Tell me, Francis, what has been one of your biggest challenges as a leader?
I think is the biggest challenge is from my character, from my personality. I'm kind of supportive person, but not very active, and maybe it's come from our culture. And I remember we had a conversation about Dao, Lao Tzu, Wu Wei, and Wu Wei in Chinese means do nothing, or at least do list. And in the social relationship, I believe I understand Wu Wei is kind of minimalism, you know, just do yourself and don't care too much about others people. And my brief is I just do my work and I don't want to be a person who annoying people and always want to interfere in other people's life or other people's mindset or ideas. I just want to um, I want to be a good person. Yes. So, but that maybe cause a problem because in a group in the team, um, maybe even you have you have already done an excellent job on your work, but that didn't help to others. Maybe it caused others jealous, um, and maybe you have the great work skills, great working experience, but you didn't share with others. You just so I think it's the biggest challenge for me. I should be more supportive. I don't mean don't get me wrong. I don't mean I'm not a person who will not give help to any others. Actually, I'm willing to give help, but sometimes I only help others when they show or when they look like they need help. So so I think in my life, in my career, I should uh, pay more attention to care about others, to yeah, and to put more energy to encourage my colleagues. As
Okay, okay, thank you so much. And right now, second question. How do you foster a positive work environment?
yeah, I always want to be in this positive work environment. But for my perspective or my experience, the first thing is to be natural and, and, and to be respectful and respect to everyone, your boss, your subordinate, your colleagues, or even the housekeeper, the gatekeeper, and show your respect to everyone. I think you respect them, and they will respect you. And so, and the second thing is, I think, is don't play politics in your office. You know, especially don't gossip others. Uh, luckily, I'm not the person who willing to talk about people behind their back. Yes. So if there are some of my colleagues, they would talk some people behind their back, I will give them some tips or we shouldn't talk about these questions or this person because maybe because you never know what other listeners thinking when you talk about someone. Yes.
Mhm.
So and the third is I think yeah maybe it's a joke. Don't play office romance. Maybe office romance can successful, but mostly it will cause a lot of problems. I think.
Mhm.
Yes, that's my perspective.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much. I think it's very important because sometimes in our office, probably in every cultures and every countries, we have problem with wasting time and energy for gossiping or something like that. Okay, right now, question number three. What advice would you give someone going into a leadership position for the first time?
Mm, at first, I'm not sure I'm the right person can answer this question, but Um, since the pandemic begins, I was given or I earned a superior position. So from my experience, I think in our culture, when you earn an important position or a leader position, it's time to take the responsibility. Maybe you should put more effort on your work and to be a problem solver and not just to put the problem to others and let others to figure out how to work um, and usually in this year I I do a lot of work at my office and often I work overtime because in the past, if I will see some of my colleagues they work overtime, I just leave them alone because that was not my business because it's their job. But when I was in this position or in a leader position, I would think about what's going on, and uh, usually I will stay with them and accompany them and help them to figure out the problem and to make this thing better. I think, yeah, it's time to take the responsibility. And besides that, what do you do? And to equally to treat to your subordinate or to your boss, and how to deal with this relationship is very important. I think some of your workmates maybe they were your best friend, and since you got a leader position, and I maybe it's I, I don't mean you have to change something, but in your work, I think someone maybe some of your workmate made a mistake. I think it's time to give them a constructive criticism and not just always encouraging or always to be a good person. And you should take the courage to figure out the problem is. I think yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, right now, something like summary for your advice and something what you said before, it's like problem with likability, and I think sometimes it's like really important when we understand competence and likability. It's sometimes not the same, and we need to try to explain a good
Yeah.
feedback is really important, not only in our work, but in our environment generally. Okay, last question, something more private. Did you think about the values you should teach your daughter?
Yes. I always think, but with this with this thing, I sometimes I feel anxious about this because I live in China and our educational system has some determination for our kids because maybe they want our kids to be a very useful person in the future. So they have some kind of purpose to in our education and in our daughter's generation, I think they will face more cruel competition than my generation. In maybe 10 years later, since the pandemic, maybe 10 years later, 20 years later, since the AI technology or big data, I don't think they have the private and the personal private. And sometimes I will worry about their future. But I also I also think maybe they have enough wisdom to figure out this problem. Maybe you overthink too much, and um, you have to you have to take the action to help them to how to how to face this society or how to face the right value of their in their uh, grow up. And so I think they're in their class. Sometimes the teacher always let them to follow the rules, or the teacher always give them the right answers to remember or to. Uh, so sometimes I will tell my daughters,
Mhm.
you should think about by your own your own, not just to follow other one's ideas. And yeah, I think the most the value thing is uh, they should think about they should think independent
Mhm.
think or independent mindset. I think this is the very important thing.
Yes, I completely agree, and I think it's not only important in the case your daughter, but generally for everyone, and it's like challenge for every education system. Thank you so much, Francis, for your time. Thank you for this wonderful conversation. I hope we have possibility to talk again and just see you soon.
Yes, thank you. See you tomorrow. Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
exactly. Thank you so much for your time and for your attention. Please remember, brutal honesty, brutal authenticity kills conversation, kills connection, kills motivation, and kills trust. Thank you so much. Take care and stay safe. See you next time. Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye bye.